Kazakhstan's investment environment attracts foreign companies. There are many American entrepreneurs who started their businesses in Kazakhstan. The USA is one of the top 10 investors in Kazakhstan. David Bassioni is developing his businesses in Kazakhstan in several sectors. Initially, the entrepreneur invested in a natural rubber project as he proposed to produce organic rubber from the flower roots. David Bassioni also provides consulting services. There are several reasons why American entrepreneurs choose to do business in Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan is a very interesting place. Number one, I'm from East Africa originally. We have a culture that's based on close friendships, relationships, trust, and we find the same sort of outpouring in Kazakhstan. So number one, very warm, welcoming people, great culture, very diverse culture.
According to the entrepreneur, American investors are attracted to work in Kazakhstan due to the diverse sectors of the Kazakh economy. The U.S. entrepreneurs are eager to explore different industries, including natural resources, renewable energy, infrastructure, and logistics.
Kazakhstan is in a very important geopolitical and geostrategic location between Europe and Asia. And some people say that it's China has the Belt and Road project, and Kazakhstan is the buckle in the belt. So it will continue to be very important strategically there.
David believes that factors such as favorable business environment as well as professionals working in both public and private sectors resulted in the increase of investments in Kazakhstan.
A lot of investment that has gone into that. We know, again, through programs like Bolashak and others that have gone in. And so that is paying off dividends. And we see Kazakhstan as a shining star in the region and globally. Well, number one, I think Nazarbayev, his vision and his policies have created a very successful and dynamic Kazakhstan.
The businessman believes that the economic and political stability in Kazakhstan also helps boost investment environment in Central Asia. Germany is one of the leading economic partners of Kazakhstan. Today, the countries have established a strong mutually beneficial ties and strategic partnership. The political dialogue between the countries is open and trustworthy. A high level of relations has been reached in the area of investments. According to Bernd Fabricius, Federal Government Commissioner for Matters related to ethnic German resettlers and national minorities, both parties are interested in long-term cooperation. He also highlighted that the important links between the two states are ethnic Kazakhs in Germany and ethnic Germans in Kazakhstan. Nearly 180,000 Germans live in Kazakhstan. Approximately 1 million Germans returned to their historic homeland.
Порядка 90% немецких инвестиций идут не с...
Nearly 90% of German investments account for the non-primary sector in Kazakhstan. Currently, there are 900 economic structures in Kazakhstan with the participation of German capital. We have 450 German enterprises. Cooperation is implemented in areas such as manufacturing, construction, transport, communications, agriculture, logistics, and other sectors of the economy.
Транспорт, связь, сельское хозяйство, логистика и другие сферы экономики.
The courts for export orientation. Kazakh enterprises have systematically increased the volume of their products that will be delivered to foreign countries. A meat processing facility in North Kazakhstan region plans to increase its export volume. It is the only facility of its kind in Central Asia. It uses deep processing meat technology to produce 60 types of products such as sausages, semi-finished meat, and smoked meat.
Модернизациядан кейін шошқа кешені іске қосылды.
After large-scale modernization, a pig farm with 50,000 heads was opened here. In a month, we plan to construct the same complex. By the end of the year, the capacity of the enterprise will be 100,000 heads.
Жылдың аяғына дейін 100 мың бас қуаттылығы ферма болайын деп тұр.
Investors have allocated 5 billion tenge to modernize the processing enterprise. In the near future, the facility's range of products will be expanded. It will enter the Chinese market. China is beneficial for us as a main partner as well as the main consumer of pork. We have plans to meet with the Chinese delegation. We have up to 2,000 tons of meat that will be exported to China this year. The pig complex will be expanded. In the future, the enterprise will annually export up to 10,000 tons of meat products to China. The ADB will allocate $170 million to Uzbekistan to purchase 24 advanced modern electric locomotives, which will be used to develop the capacity of the country's railroad system in terms of both passenger and freight traffic. Chinese investors are set to open the Central Asian Commodity Exchange and set up the non-ferrous metals processing plant in Kyrgyzstan. Raw materials produced in Kyrgyzstan will be used at the facility, and the plant managers will also cooperate with neighboring countries. The investors expect to spend a total of $500 million on the construction of the plant, as well as $1.5 billion for the opening of the commodity exchange. The European Bank for Reconstruction and Development forecasted that Turkmenistan's GDP will be increased to 6.3% in 2019, based on the May edition of the Regional Economic Prospects. The bank's experts revised the growth up by 0.7% compared to the November 2018 forecast. The International Islamic Trade Finance Corporation, which is part of the Islamic Development Bank, will provide a $150 million loan to Tajikistan. The draft framework agreement for the deal was approved by the Tajik government. Tajikistan will receive the loan within the upcoming 3 years. The funds are expected to be used to finance the import of goods, pre-export financing for agricultural products, funding for lending organizations to support the private sector, and to implement technical assistance projects. More than 6 million books are kept in the National Library of Kyrgyzstan, which is one of the largest book repositories in Central Asia. The items include rare books, manuscripts, and Kyrgyz and foreign scientific and fiction books in 90 languages, as well as documents dated back to the 18th and 19th centuries. The first edition of the epic trilogy of Manas is the pearl of the collection. The library offers a unique combination of traditional literature, electronic books, and other valuable publications in both Kyrgyz and other foreign languages. This year, the National Library of Kyrgyzstan celebrates its 85th anniversary. Of the years of operation, the library accumulated multiple reference books, manuals, as well as scientific and specialized technical books. I often visit this library. I'm writing my thesis work. There are very interesting works here, such as archives and the database that I need. The abundant collection of books is available online. The digital copies of books kept in the extensive collections are accessible on the library's website. 8.5 million tourists visited Kazakhstan last year, which is higher by 10% compared with 2017. The majority of visitors arrived from Central Asian countries, as well as Russia, Turkey, Germany, Azerbaijan, and other foreign countries. According to experts, business tourism as well as medical and health improvement tourism is well developing in Kazakhstan. Foreign travelers visit Kazakhstan for recreation and treatment procedures in the health centers on the shore of Lake Alakol and the forests of Burabay. A new recreational facility and hotels will soon be built in Aktau. The construction will start in June. Turkish investors are planning to build special warm pools at the facility. We should create a favorable environment for the investors. We also need to construct roads and build engineering utilities. There is a lot of work to do. We are working on the various action plans and separate approvals for each project together with our colleagues. I believe that a new stage of investment development has begun in the region. During the stay in Kazakhstan, foreign tourists can always count on the support of the tourist police available in the country. The tourist police units ensure security of the visitors and are also capable of consulting and providing information on various aspects that are of a particular interest to the tourists. The tourism police officers operate in the cities of Nur-Sultan and Almaty, as well as in 4 regions such as Akmola, Almaty, East Kazakhstan, and Turkestan.
заключается.
Tourist police officers are tasked to work with foreign citizens at various tourist sites where the majority of foreign nationals arrive. Sometimes foreigners may face certain issues or a language barrier.
Возникнут какие-либо проблемы, языковой барьер.
The contribution of tourism industry to Kazakhstan's GDP is expected to increase to 8% by 2025. The Kazakh government has increased expenses on tourism in 2017 for the fifth time. Kazakh students who study in Europe are competitive in the international labor market. There are about 3 million students in Germany. 2/3 of them study in some of the best universities in Europe. The young students start searching for a job that meets their profession during the study at the universities. Therefore, upon completion of their education, the young people have work experience.
У меня будет уже какой-то опыт.
These opportunities will allow me to gain work experience. Upon employment at a new job, I will have an upper hand as I will have a proof of having practical knowledge in this field. There are 10 to 20 announcements on the websites of universities. Students can use filters in order to select certain fields, time schedules, and employers.
Какая сфера, сколько часов.
Foreign students in Germany are allowed to work for up to 20 hours per week. Kazakh national Rasul Rahim studies at the Technical University of Berlin. He sent a request to the local companies and was employed by a small company operating in IT sector.
Сейчас я работаю разработчиком.
At the moment, I work as a software developer and still studying at the university at the same time. I believe that every person should look for a proper job himself and learn about the company. Job fair is another good option, but they are not held too often. The university organizes fairs by the end of the half-year term once or twice a year. Therefore, students should look for a job themselves most of the time. According to the Kazakh students, in order to work at a high-profile company in Germany, applicants should have a diploma and work experience. Therefore, the young people choose to gain more experience before employment. The demand for literature is growing in Kazakhstan. Book market experts claim that despite the popularity of the internet and e-books, local Kazakh readers prefer to purchase printed publications. The yearly increase in the interest in books is served as evidence. The fact is confirmed by representatives of Kazakh publishers. The publishers say that the demand for literature in Kazakh language is also actively growing. Experts say that there is increasing interest in children's literature. In addition, books written by Kazakh authors are also becoming in high demand in regional countries. Young parents are becoming more interested in Kazakh language books every year. Most importantly, they are attracted not by translated books, but by the originals and by our authors.
В Узбекистане популярны, естественно, очень много читателей.
Abais's works are popular in Uzbekistan. Many Uzbek readers prefer his works and works of other authors. We agreed and approved 4 contracts with your publishing houses. In the future, we plan to expand our cooperation.
И в дальнейшем планируем сотрудничество расширить.
Kazakh scientists and archaeologists are discovering new pages in history of the ancient Saraishyk city. Previously unknown facts have been discovered due to the map of the mid-19th century found in the Moscow Military Archive. It is documented that the ancient settlement founded in the 13th century, located 50 kilometers from Astral, did not disappear under the waters of the Urals as previously believed.
В 2017 году нашими отросткими исследователями в Москве военные государства.
In 2017, our Astral researchers in the State Military Archive of Moscow found a map which was compiled by military topographer Alexeyev in 1861. On this map, we see that half of the settlement and the citadel are fully preserved at the moment.
И цитадель полностью сохранен в данное время.
From the descriptions of travelers and merchants, it was known that luxurious palaces, mosques, baths, and madrasas were built in Saraishyk. The best architects were attracted for their construction. The ancient city had its own citadel. With the help of the map, scientists expect to find its location.
Saraishyk қаласығы жайық жағалауында ғана емес.
The ancient Saraishyk city extended not only to the coast of the river, but also to the south. This means that 50 to 60% of the city has survived. This means that it has not gone underwater as we thought earlier. The beginning of the excavation confirmed the accuracy of the map. The millstones of a large mill and the foundation of a large building have been found in the opposite side of the traditional site of archaeological work. The most beautiful legend about Princess Suyunbike, the daughter of the Golden Horde Khan Janibek, has found its partial confirmation. On the old map, a reservoir is located near the settlement, where the young beautiful woman might have fed the swans on a golden boat. He reigned here between 1342 and 1357. He created an artificial lake like a pool. The water of this lake was constantly changed. Every time when the water was changed, sugar was poured into the water, since the swans like to come to the sweet and clean water. Therefore, this lake was called Swan or Sweet Lake of Saraishyk. The ancient Ural city is no longer under threat. The works on construction of the 1.5-kilometer high concrete wall have been completed. The scientists are planning to recreate the image of the ancient Saraishyk city. An open-air museum will be opened soon in the holy place. Ancient lines from the Kultegin epic were recited in Karagandy. As a result, the best reciter of the legendary work has been chosen. The event was organized as part of the modernization of Kazakhstan's identity program. Representatives of the region's various ethno-cultural associations have recited a work in Kazakh language. The Kultegin epic describes the call for unity, preservation of traditions and customs of ancestors, as well as courage of an outstanding commander. At the competition, the epic was also accompanied with Kazakh national musical instruments. The main goal is to consolidate the society and unite the people. This means that it is necessary to popularize the culture, language, and traditions of Kazakhs. Furthermore, the younger generation needs to learn them. This is a possibility for the Republic's other ethnic groups to learn about the Turkic component. This gives additional consolidation for the assembly based on the Turkic commonality and proximity of the language. In addition, a copy of a fragment of Kultegin's marble statue was presented in Karagandy. The monument of Turkic runic writing dates back to the 8th century. The exhibition of figurative and intuitive painting, as well as graphic sketches and abstract paintings, is opened in the capital of Kazakhstan. The exhibition connects the objectless and avant-garde art from Austria and Poland. The works of 2 Austrian and Polish artists are included in the unique exhibition titled Realism of the Astral World. In fact, it was not easy to choose a title for the project because the artists are very different and they represent different cultures, use different techniques, and live in different worlds. When working on this project, I realized that they have one common beginning, which connects them very beautifully and spiritually. They are both artists, Florian Messner and Bartosz Frasek. They attach more importance to all the same spiritual content of art rather than form. It seems to me that a very beautiful symbiosis has been achieved, and naturally, the name and concept of the exhibition was born from there.
Получился очень красивый симбиоз, и, естественно, оттуда родилось и название, и концепция выставки.
Florian Messner was born and raised in Austria. He is a representative of the Vienna School of Fantastic Realism. The artist has been living in Kazakhstan for 1 year. During this time, the Austrian painter has thoroughly studied the Kazakh art. In addition, he also carefully studied Kazakhstan's history and literature. Another painter, Bartosz Frasek, was impressed by the innovative architecture of the Kazakh capital. The artist plans to showcase his works in Kazakhstan more than once.
When I walked through the street in Astana, I everywhere see through the modern building the old things of Kazakh culture. And this is amazing because the Kazakh people don't forget about the past. And this is a mix because it's the future things with some things, the old pattern, for example, for the buildings. And this is why I try to also remember about the things what happens in the past, in the Europe.
Visitors can get acquainted with the work of the artists. The exhibition is available to the public until the end of July.